I've said to you in the recent weeks, we need to begin to read our Bibles better. There was a key in the opening of that passage, and I wonder if you saw it. There was a key that unlocks this entire chapter and does in large part what I shared with you earlier, ties in and shows us the context of chapter 5 and chapter 6 coming together. The key is in verse 4, and I wonder if perhaps you've seen it. God's word says, "Now the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was at hand." I said to you last week that in chapter 5 we begin what some call the festival cycle. Jesus is now speaking in conflict in the context of the various Jewish festivals in ways that are designed to say, that's not it, I'm it. You say, now, what's the big deal? Well, you've got to understand, in order to see clearly and fully what's going on, when we say that this is the Passover time, this is the festival, this means that all the people are now thinking about, and their culture is centered on all that happened in the great Exodus out of Egypt. Moses, remember last chapter, is the key focal point in the Exodus. Moses is the one where the people who put their faith in their religion would center on instead of their Redeemer. Jesus is now coming, and he's going to bring this Passover context into the conversation. And if we don't pick this up, we'll miss the fact that the feeding of the 5,000 parallels the manna from heaven that sustained these people from God's perspective for so long. They thanked countlessly the role of Moses and his part in getting them the physical food that was the manna from heaven. Jesus is bringing contextualization into the conversation. It's Passover time. You're thinking about, that whole time where we were taken out of Egypt by Moses. You're thinking about how we were physically fed in the desert by Moses. You're thinking about the blood of the lamb over the door and how it helped us to leave Egypt. Jesus is speaking into this. Those of you that were with us when we walked through the Bible in 2012, and we noted how over and over and over again in the Old Testament you kept seeing Jesus. Well, this is the counterpart. This is the New Testament, Jesus pointing back to where he was in the Old Testament. The Passover was all about him. Jesus is making it clear. He's saying, listen, just like your forefathers who focused on the leaving instead of the lamb, I'm telling you, stop thinking about the feeding and look at the food. I am the bread of life. I am the reason and the way that you were taken out. I am the one that all of that was pointing to. This is what Jesus is saying. And he's now not saying it to the religious leaders. He's saying it to the religious lookers, those that would think that they were good to go because of their religious relationship and not a relationship with the Redeemer. And this is exactly what Jesus is speaking into. As this unfolds and this parallel comes clear, I pray that you'll see Jesus is the manna from heaven. He says, listen, you were satisfied with the food. You want the food that your fathers ate and died in the desert. I offer you the eternal bread of life.